Hey there, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Big welcome back to our 8th ever Comment of the Day episode, where, kind of in a podcast style, we hang out and I get to answer a bunch of y'all's questions. And we have some really awesome questions that are stacked up for today. I say, why don't we enjoy some cinematics, some nice music in the background, and get right into our 8th comment of the day. The first comment of the day comes from Maritharu, who has a wonderful YouTube channel themselves. I highly recommend checking it out, and they do a lot of desert builds, and an awesome channel member and Discord member as well. So thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel. And they asked if you could add something to Minecraft, what would it be and why? And it took me a little bit of time to try to figure out what would be one thing that I would come up with. And it took me a little bit of time because I had a bunch of ideas, but I do think that one thing that the Minecraft developers definitely suffer with is that when you're thinking about putting something into Minecraft, you really want to try as much as possible to make it well loved by as many people as possible. And that can be very controversial. Even for myself personally, I know that when Minecraft 1.21 ended up coming out with the Tricky Trials, or I think that's what it's called, update, I really wasn't about the trial chambers. I was like, oh, it doesn't look good, and I don't know, like it just wasn't appealing for me. Then I was actually able to go and hang out and explore it with some Lotus SMP members and had a total blast doing it, and saw the vitality with it and saw how much easier it was to get copper with it. And as a builder that uses a lot of copper myself, I was like, oh, I do like this. And so I was a fan of the most recent update, although I thought I wasn't going to like it whatsoever. And I'm sure that there are tons of people out there that with 1.21 and even after Minecraft Live, which happened very recently, are just not that excited about what's to come. And so it was really difficult for me to think about what is one thing that I would add myself. I was thinking about, it'd be cool to add palm trees to the desert biome, and I think that would be a cool thing just sporadically, or just the ability to make them a little bit more aesthetically with Minecraft wood types and that sort of thing. I was like, that'd be cool, and you could just do a desert update and really spice it up. But I then thought about what it would be really cool to also have transient weather, in the idea of having like hail every once in a while, or like a hurricane, or if you're in the desert, have like a sandstorm pop up. And I know that with the shaders in particular, that would be so cool to be able to experience. But then I thought about it more, and I was like, at the end of the day, Minecraft is a game that has the opportunity to have so much customization, whether it be your playthrough, but in particular with modding too. And I use plenty of mods to make my playthrough better, and I've switched them up over the years. And so I thought about that, and I was like, no, like not everyone would want weather transients. Like I was thinking, oh, it'd be cool if in the morning every once in a while it was kind of like one of those hazy mornings where it's kind of cloudy. I grew up in New England and right on the coastline, and so kind of just a very foggy morning if you're over by the coast, and then the sun ends up peeking through the clouds, and then the clouds clear up and whatnot, and it's a beautiful day, and have that sort of transience. Or if you're in a winter biome, have the opportunity to have it snow and have the snow change in its effect every once in a while. Like what if there was like a blizzard every once in a while, right? But not everyone would want that. I know that it would break up the vanilla idea of like the day and night cycle within the game, because it's nice to be able to be like, okay, this is daytime in Minecraft and this is nighttime in Minecraft. And also easy to differentiate, like, okay, it's raining and it's daytime, and it's raining and it's nighttime, and that sort of thing. And if you go too far with the weather transitions, then for a lot of more vanilla players, that would be way too much, and I totally understand that. So I thought about it more, and I decided to take the lens on this question of being like, what's one thing, one little thing, if Minecraft was to call me up today and be like, Slip, what is one thing that we will put into the game for you? I thought at first, I was like, I would say another 2 tall flower because rose bushes and lilacs are wonderful, don't get me wrong, and I use them plenty, as you all know. But I was like, there could be more color variation and so much just that can be done with the foliage in an area and being able to terraform and make more with biomes and adding extra color and life to builds and that sort of thing. I was like, just add one or add, multiple, but draw them out over time. Don't just add them all at once, I would say. And kind of just add to that texture and play style within the game. But then I thought about it more. I was like, man, that would be an opportunity if Mojang or Microsoft, I guess nowadays, was to call me up and be like, what's one thing that you'd want to put in? And so I think that I'd settle with my answer on this one with a light source, a new type of lighting. And I love being able to work with lighting as a builder and as someone that likes to make an area come alive within Minecraft, whether it be torches or lanterns or soul lanterns, end rods, copper bulbs, all that sort of stuff. But if you think about it, there's so much more that could be done with it too. And you don't have to get too exaggerated with it, but just think of one new lighting source, whether it be a new type of lantern or, candles are awesome too, but, just roll out something new. And I guess I haven't enough time to think about what's the one type of lighting source. So I'd love to know what you guys would think about when it comes to it in the comments. So definitely leave one. I'd love to get the idea going. What's a cool light source? Like a new iteration of like an end rod would be, kind of interesting, or just, they work well with fluorescent bulbs and that sort of thing. But I don't know. Imagine just like even Halloween lighting, or because that's coming up, or Christmas-esque lighting, or I don't know, just a little detail, like a medieval sort of flower pot lantern, or just like more pottery based things, or that, like just adding an extra, like what if you had a pot? Yeah, this would be cool actually. I'm just going off the top with this. What if you had one of like the pots, like the big ones, right, in Minecraft? And what if when you had the sherds, it ended up carving it out and you could have a light source within it. And that was a certain sort of pot, and you could have them in multiple sizes, like a big and a small one. And they could just add some extra light with the shaders coming through the cracks of, in like almost a Halloween carved pumpkin sort of way, but like in a medieval sort of the light is within, or a candle is within it sort of fashion. And you could do a lot with that, whether it be like a Nordic sort of play style and medieval, and to the races with it. So I think I would settle on a type of light source. And once again, I'd really love to know your ideas when it comes to it in the comments. But a wonderful comment once again from Mirthru, and that's going to lead us into our second comment of the day, which comes from Flam YouTube, or Flam YT, who asks, how did you find out about Minecraft? What made you decide to play it? And I honestly am not exactly sure what got my first look at Minecraft, but I have a story of my getting into Minecraft. And so I would assume that my first exposure ended up coming from a good buddy of mine when I was back in elementary school. And him and I used to game all of the time. We were really good at Call of Duty back in like middle school and high school, but before then, we played a lot of Minecraft together. And Definitely not as much as I play nowadays, making all this content and whatnot. But we ended up playing on a server together, and I think that we didn't play at like separate houses, but I think that I always went over to his house and we would work on things together, or at the very least, it may have been one of those things where at first I would just maybe even just watch him playing it, and I was enthralled with it. It was so cool watching it. And then I know that one of the first video game purchases, and the best one in my personal opinion, which I tell anyone, was when I was maybe like 12 or 13 or something like that. Minecraft was available for $20 for life, and I bought it. I was like, I can afford $20. I'm old enough for that nowadays, and I don't know if I had to ask parent permission, but I probably did. And I ended up, I think I did, and I gave my mom $20 for it, and we ended up, hooking up her credit card and bought the game, and I was able to play it on my mom's computer. And eventually, actually probably not soon after, I ended up getting into it, and I forget what update it was that I really got into it. I was watching my friend like an update or two beforehand, but it was when the horse came out. And so that's the best way that I can explain. When I first actually got to buy it and play it myself, I was like, oh my gosh. And I think maybe the jungle ended up coming out at the same time, or maybe the parrot. I just have this experience of playing Minecraft one of the first times for myself and being like, this is so cool. Like there's a horse in the game, and like, look at this jungle. It's so beautiful. And I wasn't playing with shaders or anything like that, of course. But I was like, this is actually like stunningly beautiful, and there's so much life in this world and so much to do. And so I remember playing that, and my parents are divorced. And so when I was a kid, I would go back and forth between households. And eventually, but I would assume pretty soon after, my dad also had a computer that he really, was just using as a personal computer. And I was always a huge gamer as a kid. My dad totally sponsored that. My dad actually was a partner with GameStop for a very long time. And so I got a lot of sneak peeks, and, my dad probably got all the hookup for all of the video game consoles back in the day. And so I was totally exposed to video games from a very young age. But I remember I just have such a vivid memory, and it's part of the reason that I feel like I almost nostalgically always go back to a winter world, is that I remember my dad had an awesome view of the ocean and the backyard. And the computer, it was like the back living room had these stunning windows that would just overlook the backyard and the view into the ocean. And we were right upon it, but a very wonderful place to grow up. And the computer would just overlook it. And I remember playing into the evening as the sun set, just as a young kid, and getting so immersed within the game and being able to watch the sun set in real life and just enjoy it as it snowed back again in New England. As in my winter world, it would snow, and I was so proud of the progress that I made, because I ended up making like this farm in a tree house that was like totally not architecturally sound, but for me at the time it was so cool. And it was snowing out in real life, and it was so cozy. I think we had a fire going in the background, and maybe my dad even had some TV or some sports or whatever it might be, 2.5 Men going on in the background. And I was just cozy and content, and I would take that moment back, because it's just, I look back on it so fondly. I would relive it anytime, and I think that I get to relive that experience in a little moment every once in a while when I'm playing Minecraft. And it's definitely part of the reason that I come back to it, just so soothing, and it reminds me of a certain place in time, and now many places in time and periods of my life, which is a very cool thing. But what made me decide to play it, I would probably say it was just the appeal of being able to do what I wanted to do within the game. And I think I was also enthralled with the multiplayer aspect of it too at first. It's like, oh my gosh, me and my friend, we can build these things in the server that we were on. And I never got that far myself. Maybe I was just watching him the whole time. Had a server economy. I was like, that is awesome. Like, we can have our own land plot and become a part of this community. And it's just really so extensive and felt like you could interact with people in such a deeper level than you could playing Call of Duty, which is the other game that I was really playing throughout my childhood. And don't get me wrong, I had a great time playing Call of Duty. And I can probably bring out a good kill-death ratio, although it's been a very long time. But I think just the ability of like doing something so sound and pure, and like I was like, oh, this is so fun. Like, why don't I try to do my own economy? And when you're that age, you don't have the opportunity to make money, for the most part, I would say. And you also have this idea of like, it's not up to me. And other people, don't get me wrong, I had a different upbringing. But for me in particular, I had this feeling of like, I don't have to make money right now. And I know other people at my age at the time probably did feel like they had to make money. But as a result of not having to make money, but still wanting to see what that experience looks like. And I think even from a young age, so many people they look at money as this commodity that gets them the things that they want, which is exactly what it is, right? And so even kids as a teacher, which is another question of the day or comment of the day, I think that I was just like, wow, okay, Minecraft has so many opportunities, and I get to hang out with my buddy, and what happens with these people around the world, and it's so new and novel, and the game, it was definitely in its early phases, but for so many people, I'm sure many of y'all are relating and can relate when I say it just poses this infinite realm of possibility for you to make beautiful things or play exactly and do exactly what you want to do. And so that's what got me into it before I was, swept away by Call of Duty for a long time before coming back to Minecraft. So another wonderful comment of the day as well. Our next comment of the day comes from Vrance, who asks, are you a teacher? And yes, I am an elementary school teacher. This comment of the day is actually going to feed into a bunch of other comment of the day questions, which actually, in my personal opinion, end up going into a very funny thought train. And so our next comment of the day comes in from Ribbon, who asks, your favorite student? In all caps. And as a teacher, of course I can't say that. But I will elaborate on what I think maybe I studied psychology, and what I think maybe might apply for a lot of teachers, and it applies for me, right, in my personal experience with enjoying the presence of children versus having a more challenging presence with other children as an educator. And I think that many people, and I'm just going to speak for myself. Yeah, I don't want to elaborate on other people, but at least for me, and I would like to broadcast, but I'll just speak for myself. For me, I feel a closer relationship with some oftentimes challenging students, people that you can see the heart and the care and the dedication and the love, and everyone has that zeal and vigor and passion for things, I think. And sometimes we can lose that and become clouded with what we're trying to get out of life and whatnot. But and sometimes you have to just be exposed to things in order to figure it out. But those kids where they struggle academically or behaviorally, but you can see the heart of gold within them and the brain of bronze maybe within them, because everyone is destined for greatness. I believe that if You don't have to agree with it, but as an educator, the idea is to set everyone up for success, and everyone has a certain wheelhouse and tool set. Not all of it is strictly within the academic, social, cultural confines. And so those kids, for me personally, that I can see it with them, and I want to be able to relay the fact that this learning, education, learning how to learn, knowing what you like and you don't like, understanding how to interact with people and make friendships that will last longer than you could ever understand at the moment. Being able to communicate all of that, which is so impossible, but as us educators, we do it little by little, and things stick over time, and that's what education and learning is. Having things stick over time, and at a younger age, you're more malleable, right? And so the kids that sometimes will be more testy or challenging or need extra care and support, oftentimes, since you have so much more intimate time with them, whether it be hard conversations or awesome conversations or good moments and bad moments in the roller coaster, you guys are going through it together, and you take on the weight of the world that the kid is taking the weight of too, right? In order to support them. Those students for me will really always stand close, but I would say also, there's the really academically inclined students, which are just so lovely and pleasant and kind and sweet and thoughtful, and the epitome of, if you can get too jaded with life, you can forget about the beauty of the human condition and what real joy and interest and excitement about the little things and big feelings that are shared, and no masks to be put on your face, and just real authentic human being, and the good and the bad and the ugly. That is something that you get from these kids, and you see it, and it's easy to lose that the older you get. And I'm still young, but I feel like I do have a lot of weight on my shoulders at this point in time, and you can forget that. And I love working with those kids that go through it all, because you're able to go through the tough moments, which are the most fulfilling moments in life, and then you get to celebrate the little wins and the big wins too, which are it's really crazy. It's like nothing else, I would say. And if you're a parent, or if you work in childcare, or if it doesn't matter. I think most people in life have that feeling of being able to take on the world with people, and sometimes it's not out of not out of choice, and as educators, oftentimes we have to deal with all those sorts of things. And so academically inclined students as well. And then I think for me personally, and I'd like to broadcast to other people, I think that students that remind you of yourself when you were younger, especially as a student, when I see myself and other kids, I'm like, that's so cool, and I can't wait to see who you turn out to be. And people change so much as they grow older, but I really like seeing that within other kids. And yeah, I don't know, that it's a really humbling and satisfying feeling. And I think the most rewarding thing is hearing back so much later on in life from those kids when you're older, which is something I haven't experienced yet. But it really is something like no words that can explain. So I can't explain my favorite student, but Throwlash comes in and he goes, your second favorite student? My second favorite student is the student that is doing just as awesome as the other student that like is, just like the epitome of an incredible student, but hasn't gone the extra teacher's pet mile. I don't know. Which I was a teacher's pet when I was a kid. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Yeah, I know he's just pulling my leg, but it's funny, and it goes into 360 Gaming's comment of the day, which asks, what class or classes do you teach? And I'm a second grade math teacher, which is funny. I was always very literacy and social studies and history, philosophy related person. And I studied religious studies, and I eventually hope to be a religious studies professor. And so I love just thinking the big thoughts and writing the big things. And I've loved writing and reading throughout my entire life. And math was not my strong suit, but as someone that is teaching it, you learn to love it for sure. And being forced to almost take another look at it was a really interesting opening of my perspective, I would say. And so I take pride in being a math teacher, although I might never be the most mathematically inclined person in the world, and that's okay with me. But I understand why it's important now, and I'm starting to get an idea of how to capture the mathematical relationship in language to kids, and that's a very difficult thing to do for me. I see other people that just understand it and always have understood the math language, but it's never been my thing. And so a very big learning curve, but I guess I could be worse at it. I could be better at it. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. But our next comment of the day comes in from Engineering Cat, who asks, are you looking into doing sponsorships or partnerships in the future? And if you would, when and would you do this? And I would do it. I'd have no problem doing it. I do not know when it would ever happen. I think that it would happen to many of the other people that I'm friends with within the Minecraft community before it happens to me. And I won't go and approach it. I'm not gonna be like, hey, this is me and so, and I think that I deserve this partnership. I think I did that back in the day, and it got me successful, but I think it's a new world with social media, and there's so many people doing that, and it's so much more competitive than how it used to be. And I used to do it with GoPro related stuff. And I got plenty of sponsorships. I actually was sponsored by a handful of companies. Back in the day, I was young. I was like, I don't know, 16, 15. I was sponsored, which was very cool. Be getting money and like accessories for free and like the clout and all of that sort of stuff. But I have no idea when that would happen. I know that I have channel memberships where we now have, I think, 16 exclusive videos, which is wild. So consider joining. It's $3 and it's totally worth it. It's less expensive than a bag of chips at the grocery store. And hours worth of content that I've really put my heart and soul into, along with early access and that sort of thing, which all happens on the main channel. This is our second channel here. But our next comment of the day comes in from Sealed, who asks, what editor do you use? And what is your best advice for small YouTubers to make them more popular? And I think that, well, I'll start with the editor that I use, which is Premiere Pro, which I bought 2 or 3 years ago, around the time when I started Minecraft, probably 3 years ago, running on. And you know, you do have to pay monthly for it, but I've gotten to the point with my video editing where I actually still make money for my videos with paying the monthly fee for Premiere Pro. I make these YouTube videos, and then I also work for a social media company and or for an energy bar company, and I do social media for them. So my editing using the platform has actually gotten to the point where I don't even just break even, but I make money for it, and has given me the opportunity to become much better at this and have so much more fun with it as well. But for, I don't know, for a while, for almost a year maybe, I was just paying, maybe longer, maybe over a year, can't remember. I was paying for Premiere Pro, but you have to invest in yourself, and that's exactly what I did. And I spend enough hours in Premiere Pro that I have no problem justifying the cost. Oftentimes when I think about spending money, and this doesn't translate with everything, but it's helpful for me, and maybe it's helpful for you too. I think about how much money am I spending per the time investment? So, for example, I think TV is a great way to explain it. You could go to the movies and spend like $15, and don't get me wrong, it's worth it for the experience oftentimes. You know, pay the popcorn and do all the thing or whatever. You could, you know, maybe pay $30, right? And then oftentimes, you know, I'm of the age group where a lot of people would like to go out at night and hit the bars and spend money. And spending money at the bars can add up, you know, $30, $60, whatever it is, very quickly. But I'm like, well, that's like 3 hours, and then I have to recover, and like that's another lot of time spent. And so that's, you know, that's a lot of money where I could, you know, for example, back in the day, I'd be like, oh, but $60 was the new Call of Duty game price. And so I was like, okay, you know, I could get like hundreds of hours for $60, or I could get like 3 hours for $60. And so that is the sort of thing that I would sort of balance. And for me, if I'm paying like, you know, if Premiere Pro, I can't remember, it might be $20 a month, but let's say it's $30 a month. That's 30 days. If I'm doing Premiere Pro for an hour every single day, that's $1 per day, which isn't that much in the grand scheme of things, because you're using the thing where you could go to the movie theater and pay $15 for 3 hours or whatever, and that's $5 for 3 hours and one, you know, or $5 per hour for one night, you know, and you spend, you know, so much more money, right? You actually spend, you know, if you go to the movie theaters and spend $15, that's 15 times. I guess it's 15. That's 5 times the amount of, you know, money that you would spend for, you know, whatever it is, a comparable experience. And so for me, it's really helpful when I think about that. And I put enough hours into Premiere Pro that my time investment for using it is very, very low. Less than $1 per day. So it's, and again, I pay it off anyway. I make enough money per month doing the editing thing that I don't even think about it. So, but I did think about it for a long time. And so, but you never know how things are going to change when you do this thing. So that's what I would say when it comes to Premiere Pro, and a little bit of a tangent about that. But you can always start off with DaVinci Resolve as well, right? And my best advice for small YouTubers to make them more popular is to put in the reps, which doesn't, you know, I don't want to be that guy. But I guess I may just be that guy. And I'm only speaking from my experience, and I still have a long way more to go, and I still have a lot more popularity potential, I think, because I feel like I'm getting better at this, and investing so much into this over time, and things are compounding, I would like to think. But I really would say the best thing is to put in the reps, and I'm going to give you a deeper reason for why I say that. Just like, oh, you need to like put in the time to get better. Because one thing with experience that you'll see, and many people that have been doing this for a long time would agree, is that a big hit or a big round of awesome videos or whatever it is does not necessarily mean that you are set in stone. And, you know, depending on your consistency or how much people love you, or just like what you bring in competition with all of the different factors to other people, it's a competitive world out there, and becoming popular is not a one hit video, I think, although it can bring you a long way. A good example of this is Schwepp, who's been doing this for years, and I've been buddies with him for years. I think around 1K when he hit it, and we were both at like 1K at the same time, and then we were both at like 2K at the same time, and now he has like 30K. And one of his most recent videos got like 1.4, maybe even more video, or 1,000 million views, 1.4 million views, excuse me. And it's like, oh yeah, he got a huge following from there, but the only way that he was able to keep it is by putting in the reps. And as a creator, someone that actually does the creation thing, I think that if you're doing it as well, you might be able to understand this or relate to me, is that you want to, at the end of the day, but be able to put out videos that are satisfying to you, rewarding to you, worthwhile to you. And oftentimes intrinsic goals can really be helpful for that. And the lag measures, the external factors, the things like the views and the popularity and the community and the support and the chance of people taking a chance on you, comes as a result of you being able to be like, at this point in time, for me personally, this is the best thing that I could have done without it killing me. And I've done the whole killing me thing in the process. But I know I look back on the most fondly the things that I was able to be like, this is exactly the best thing that I was able to put out at this point in time. And you're able to look back at your catalog and see where you've improved. But it's for 99.9, I would like to say, % of people that are trying to do this, because Minecraft is one of the most popular games in the world and is one of the most competitive spaces on YouTube. As a result, within gaming, which is one of the biggest things ever, it is so saturated, which I like about it and love about it because I'm part of that. And there's so much underground stuff. There's so many good creators out there. But it's taken years for me to get to where I have wanted to be, and I still have places that I want to go. And I think that the more I was able to lean into it and put in the reps and slowly but surely make the connections over time, that's what made me more popular, I would say. Like, it was, just one train that got me into Lotus. I was into hardcore Minecraft and came across a Lotus SMP member that ended up making a YouTube video, their episode 1 Yogi Man, for his hardcore Minecraft series, and it popped off. And I absolutely loved it, and I started binging his content, and I started watching the other Lotus creators because I saw his Lotus videos. And eventually, over time, as I continued to watch them, I would comment on their videos, and I was really just into everyone's different perspective on Lotus, and so into it as a viewer. And I'd always wanted to be a part of Lotus, and I became really friendly, and at the same time, I was growing and putting out consistent content, and getting better. The videos weren't by far popular, but I was getting better at things. And I remember I left a comment on, I think, on Chespi's video being like, dude, I'm loving it. This is so awesome. It's a dream for me to be on Lotus, and I didn't say that like the first time I had ever communicated with him, but I just like wanted for him to know, like, I'm loving it. Thank you for the support that you're giving me. Like, I'd love to be on Lotus at some point. And then like 4 months later, at the end of Lotus, SMP, at the end of the Lotus SMP, I was going to start a desert world. And I had started it, and you guys can actually see it on the main channel. We ended up doing 200 days in the desert. But I got a direct message on Discord from Chespi, and he's like, would you like to join Lotus? And I'd wanted more than anything for that to happen, because I knew Minecraft 1.21 was coming out and that a new season was going to be starting. And then I had the opportunity to say yes and get to join them, and it's been to the races with that. But those little connections have brought me into the Lotus community, which has just spread my connections with other people like wildfire. And then another good example is Feather Fetcher, who I found his hardcore 100 days maybe a year plus ago. It's been a long time, and he wasn't connected or friends with so many of the people that he is today. And now, I got to know him and was into his community, and then all of these different communities of people that have gotten to know each other over a long period of time, if you actually think about it now, are coming together, and it's really cool. And get to hang out with people like Jam or like BH or Shrammy or Etat or all of the people we're all really connected here. And it's actually a really beautiful thing. And the popularity comes internally for me, knowing that all the people who I also love to watch know me and I'm friends with them. And so that's the best feeling of popularity that I've gotten out of it. But I didn't think that that was necessarily gonna come as a result of it. And that's why I say just put it in the wraps. And you never know what happens, but just try to enjoy the process. And don't feel like you need to do this alone as well. So a wonderful comment of the day. And our next one comes in from Morg Org, who, speaking of, is a Lotus SMP member and a good buddy, a great builder as well on the SMP, and has some awesome videos. I recommend you checking them out on his YouTube channel. But he asks, you may have gotten this question before, but when it comes to making a video, what does your creative process look like? How much time do you dedicate to differing things like editing, building, making replays, etc.? And how does that fall into your schedule? Dude, I love talking about this. And it changes over time. Really changes over time. It used to look like last year I'd wake up like 4 a.m. and like from 4:30 to 5:30 a.m. I'd be able to, for the most part, be able to do Minecraft editing and stuff. And then I was a student teacher and taking online class, and so I'd get home and I'd have class most weekdays until like 7 p.m. But I've always been pretty academically inclined, and so I've been able to play Minecraft and do the mundane chores while being participatory in class and getting all my work done and that sort of stuff. And so I would do that most weekdays, and then on the weekdays that I didn't have class, I would just get home from work and I would just play Minecraft until a log out time, which is usually like 6:30, 6:45, 7:15 if I'm really pushing it, which does not happen much anymore. And so plenty of Minecraft during that time during the summer. It was literally just up at 4:30 and I would play Minecraft until I went to sleep. And I really loved it. It was actually a really fun time for me. Nowadays I wake up at 3:30 and I work in the morning until I go to work. And then I work an hour before work starts. And then I work during my lunch break. I work. So I wake up at 3:30, workday starts at 4 a.m., get home during at like 4 earliest, 6 latest. And if I get home at 4, then I'm usually able to play at 4:30. And I'll play from like 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. And that's what I usually do. And then at 6:30 I make dinner, and from 7 to 8 p.m. I just like finish up work stuff. Which is a long day, I would say. And so that's what it usually will look like. If I'm getting home around like 6 p.m., then sometimes I don't even have time for Minecraft, which stinks. But other times I will just try to get something done for like an hour or 45 minutes. I'll be like, okay, this is a replay mod night. I'm just going to do 45 minutes of replay mod, then I'm going to log off and have dinner and go to sleep. All of that sort of stuff. So it's pretty much every day. I try to fit a little bit in every single day and see how things compound on one another. And then during the weekends, I literally just play Minecraft the entire time. Which is exactly what I try to do, or at least as much as I can do. Because I just love doing this. And I had to step back from the energy bar company and not work on the farmers markets on the weekends, but I will be actually 3 times this month. So working 6 days a week, 3 times in October. So I'll be busy. But so Saturdays are pretty sacred for me to be able to just almost not talk to anyone and not socialize and just play Minecraft and hang out. And then Fridays are pretty sacred, as many of you guys know, for me, because I get to stream and use my last social battery and hang out and connect with you guys after the week. And so that's how it fits in. I would say that when it comes to like replays, as much as I can, I'm not playing Minecraft during the work week. I'm doing replays. Unless I really want to get a video out by a certain time. And then on Friday night after stream and Saturday morning into the entire day, depends how long it is, how much replays I do need to do if I really want to get the video out, then it's just replays, like pretty much the entire day. with like, intermittent breaks and that sort of thing. But for the most part, I really try to keep Saturdays as I wake up, I just play Minecraft, I don't edit that much, and then I get to watch the video that we're all watching right now. We're all premiering it it's Saturday morning. And it's very important to me and sacred, and these books that we have in this world are also really, really important to me as well. And so, yeah, a great question. We have much less time to put into it, but you can pretty much tell that the only free time that I have that I do put into it. And I love doing it. So that's great. I just don't have as much time to like watch other people's content anymore. And that's a bummer. I'm spending all the time just trying to make the things that I'm making. And so it is what it is, part of the life of being a content creator. Our next comment of the day comes in from Tam. And they ask, what are your PC specs? And if I'm being totally honest with you, I don't exactly know. I do know it's a ROG Zephyrus G15, and it's got a 3070. I don't even know what the 3070 really means. It's a gaming laptop. And then I have some sort of MSI monitor that's a 32-inch curved monitor. And I just connect it, and I have a bunch of different ports and a hyper something gaming monitor. And I max it as much as I can, I think. I don't think my computer can't handle many other video games because of all the Minecraft stuff that I do. But that's okay with me. And I don't really have much intention of playing many other things. And our last comment of the day, thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. I really do enjoy these Saturday mornings where I can just kick back and relax. And I'm usually playing some Minecraft as I'm saying while I watch this. And I hope that if you were able to keep this on in the background, whether it be trying to fall asleep or getting some work done, whether it be Minecraft or whatever you need to get done, or making some dinner or whatever it be. I really appreciate you taking a chance on this guy. And, I'm standing here just talking into the microphone, connecting with you guys. And I really look forward to it. And so thank you. Thank you for taking a chance on this guy. And I was thinking about this because I have someone that I've gotten to know recently that has been very, very caring and really taken an interest in me. And it's been such a long time. I'm very well liked. I think most people find me pretty charismatic in real life. But I really do distance myself. It's a me thing as opposed to other people. But sometimes people will break through because they really want to care about you and want to take a genuine interest on it. And someone in real life has been like that recently. And I've been like, man, like it's been such a long time since I've had someone really care about that besides you guys who I'm talking to right now. And I was like, maybe since it's been such a long time and I've not had that feeling, but I've received it from you guys, that's why I take so much fulfillment in doing that. And that's been a really interesting thing to just think about, and just speaks about the importance of this to me and you guys to me. So thank you once again for that. But our last comment of the day comes in from Indiana Animates, who asks, do you have any other hobbies besides Minecraft? And I don't know, I've been in such a big transition point, and I'd be lying if I would say if it wasn't without struggle. I've always been like an exercise aficionado, but I haven't had time for exercise. I really haven't had time for much, for myself. And the little times that I, like literally it's not like I have other free time and then I do other stuff with my other free time. Like the only free time that I actually have is the time that I am producing these videos. Like the only other times that I'm watching YouTube videos are like when I'm editing, when I am brushing my teeth every once in a while, in the weekends in the morning while I'm doing chores or meal prepping and that sort of thing. And so I love cooking, but I don't do it that much because I don't have that much time for it. I've always really loved hiking and going to the mountains. I don't have that much time for it. And I've really just gotten so adjusted to a routine where I don't have much me time, and so the me time that I take is doing this. Minecraft is very therapeutic and cathartic for me. I 2 years ago I was big into Muay Thai, and I've always done yoga, and a huge exercise person, all the different types. Pretty much always been a 7 days a week person for maybe 9 years. Yeah, 9 years, until the last like 3 weeks or month or so with starting my new job. I'm just working so much, and it's taking out everything for me that it's almost a depressing thing to be like, I don't have anything else that's really going on right now. And I really bring that to the table, and I kind of tell people about that, because it's like not necessarily a good thing, right? Because I just don't have time for much else, and work is so social and so out of my comfort zone every second and moment of the day that I end up having to resort to trying to recharge on my limited free time. And that's not a balance thing. I think balance is a very important thing in life. And so I'm not perfect when it comes down to it. It's very much more of a boring life. And not necessarily something I'm satisfied about, I would say. Life usually looks a lot better, and has always actually looked a lot different until the last couple of months. But things have just been... It's so crazy that although I'm waking up at 3:30 in the morning and I'm starting my work day, like I literally work from 4 a.m. to 7:30 in the morning. I'm still doing work after work in the evening, and working during my lunch break, that I still don't have time. This is my 1 hour where I get to play Minecraft, and I don't have other time to even hit the gym, which is something that's been so sacred to me my entire life. But yeah, there's a lot of things I do like doing. I just haven't had time to be doing it. Trail running is a big one. All types of exercise, as I'm saying, and cooking are big ones. And then just filmmaking, which I see that you guys see me leaning into it as the thing of like, if I don't want to let go of something right now, it's the ability to be myself and be creative and make things that I'm proud of, and be able to find people that care and love and are supportive of you along the way. And that's what I've gotten from all of you guys. If you're new here, consider joining our Discord. We have 92 people, all wonderful people now in the sanctuary. And if any of that other content sounds pretty appealing to you, go and check out our YouTube channel, or our membership program, where I got 15 plus now exclusive videos for you guys to watch. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. I will continue to be playing Minecraft along the rest of you creators, and I will chat with you all very, very soon.